Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. In today's video, guys, I am once again continuing off of the rankings that I have in store for you for the Halloween franchise this month, and I'd like to get the rest of these done before the end of Halloween, hopefully, so I'm really going to try to push these out, which is why I did this one tonight, because before about 30 minutes ago, I was not considering doing this tonight, but I figured Halloween just around the corner, probably should get these done. I have, I believe, 2 more to go. I gotta do the scores ranking, and then I would like to do a top 10 kills of the franchise ranking. Top 10 of my favorite kills from the Halloween franchise. And this one, however, we are going to be ranking the endings for Halloween. And I managed to scrape up 15 different endings in Halloween. There are obviously a few Halloween films that have different cuts that have slightly different endings. Some of them a little bit bigger. Some of them are a little bit more significant than the others. But 15 different rankings to do for this video, or 15 different endings to do for this video, and I hope that I won't take very long explaining every single one of them. I'm really going to try to get through it quick on this one. I don't want to make this another 30-minute, 45-minute video, or 45-minute video. So, other than that, after all of the Halloween rankings are done, going into November, I am going to be doing some Diary of a Wimpy Kid stuff, which I know you guys are very excited for. A lot of people come to see that on my channel. So I will be doing a review for the new book, which is called Diaper Overload. I just got it today, and I don't expect it to take. I don't expect it to take very long to finish reading it. So I'm going to do a review for it, and then a ranking, which I know you guys are always very excited for. So stay tuned for that, coming in November, shortly after Halloween, hopefully. So other than that, let's get on to this ranking. Right, coming in at number 15 is going to be the Halloween 5 ending. And I believe when I talked about Halloween 5 in my film ranking, I talked about how bad I think this ending is, and I said I would go into further detail when I go into my endings ranking. And yeah, this ending is just unbelievably bad. First of all, they put Myers in this jail cell, out of all things. After all the stuff he's done, they put him in this jail cell to hold him captive temporarily. Doesn't make any sense to me, especially when they were trying to kill him in the last movie with a stick of dynamite. And he's, worst of all, while he's sitting in the jail cell, I know Dead Meat really hates this. He starts playing with the chains that are like cuffed to his hands, which is stupid. And then they bring in the Man in Black that has been foreshadowed throughout the movie, kind of just walking around, and you're kind of like, who's this guy? And he comes in to basically help get Michael Myers out of there, basically help him escape the jail in the most cliche way ever. It was like watching a 1930s gangster movie where he's got the submachine gun and he's murdering all the cops in there, and he gets Michael to escape, and that's how the movie ends. And you just have Jamie screaming once she realizes that he's escaped. It's just it's terrible. And there's not much further to say about it. Number 14, and this is very, very close. These two I think were very, very close because both of them do very, very, very bad things. At number 14 is going to be the Halloween 2 2009 director's cut ending. There were 2 different endings for the Halloween 2 Rob Zombie remake movie, and in the director's cut, many people have complained about for many, many years, Michael Myers talks. He talks while he is, I believe, either punching or kneeing Loomis at the very end of it, and you got the cops surrounding Michael and Loomis. So they can see all that's happening. His mask is fully off. You can see Tyler Mane's face completely with the beard, the hair, everything. It's not like there's like a shadow that's kind of covering it, which they already kind of showed his face earlier in the movie, so it doesn't really matter. The main part that's really bad is the fact that he says, die, die, as he's kneeing or whatever he's doing to Loomis. And it's really terrible. And then they shoot up Michael, like the 15 different cops that are surrounding him just shoot him up. And he brings his arms out, and it's really, really bad. I don't know how to describe that particular scene where he kind of brings his arms out and they're all shooting him like he's being, I don't know, like he's being fired at from a vigilante squad or something like that. It's really, really stupid. So number 14 is the Halloween 2 director's cut ending. Number 13 is going to be Halloween Kills, a very unsatisfying ending, I will say. I definitely wanted it to end on a higher note, even though I knew for many years before Halloween Kills, well, kind of a few months after Halloween 2018, that there was going to be a Halloween end. So I was wondering how they were going to end it off, and they kind of did it in the worst way possible. And because I saw the trailers for Halloween Kills before this, I was kind of waiting for this particular scene in Halloween Kills to happen, and I was like, don't you dare do this at the ending of the movie, and then they did it. And then they did it. You have Michael Myers being surrounded by the mob. They finally catch him, and they all bring in blunt weapons. Like, I'm talking about, like, 2x4s. One lady even has an iron, which somebody pointed out one time. Baseball bats. Why are you using blunt weapons? I don't know. One person does have a gun, however, but that doesn't go well somehow. And he does eventually get taken down, but he comes back up and somehow just slaughters the whole group of people. And then he kills Karen while she goes into, I believe it was the Myers house, and she's in the room for whatever reason. And then he kills Karen, who doesn't see him walk into the room. Yeah, it's really, really bad. And I still, every time I think, why couldn't they shifted the endings around for the 3 movies in this timeline? Why couldn't they have put the Halloween Kills ranking at, the Halloween 2018 and rearrange it in some sort of way? Why? But instead they end Halloween Kills with this, and it's very unsatisfying. I understand that second movies in a trilogy are really hard to do without making them feel just like a filler movie in a sort of way. So I get that, but they did it in just the worst, cringeworthy way possible. Number 12 is going to be the Halloween 2 2009 theatrical cut ending. And this one, thankfully, does not end with Michael Myers saying die, and having his mask clean off. But it ends in sort of the same spot. You have Loomis, you have Michael, and you have Laurie, all 3 in this farmhouse, and then they come out to be surrounded by the cops once again, and all 3 of them get killed. And then it ends with, like, Laurie in this white hallway with the white horse just kind of staring there. Not really sure what it's supposed to mean exactly. I don't know. I think it's a slightly better ending than the director's cut, but it's still not good. It's still a little bit awkward. I will say, though, I kind of like how all 3 of them, Laurie, Michael, and Loomis, are all 3 just dead in the middle of the scene with, the cops surrounding them by the farmhouse and all that kind of stuff. I do kind of like that shot that they do with all 3 of them laying on the ground dead. I kind of do like that, so I'll give them that, and that's why it's slightly better than the 2009 director's cut. Number 11 is going to be Halloween Resurrection. Really not a whole lot to talk about as far as this ending. Obviously, you have Busta Rhymes and then the other final girl taking him down by sticking an electrical wire into his nuts. And then I believe she tries to chainsaw him. Doesn't really work very well. But they take him down and they burn him. They sort of burn the house down, and you can see that his mask is all burnt and all that at the very ending. And so they take him into the operating room, and they open up the body bag, and his eyes just open up. It's really stupid, really cliche. Many horror movies have done this in the past, obviously, where the killer's eyes just open up to indicate that there may possibly be a sequel in the future, but they never went ahead with that. For the longest time, I thought that the modern-day sequel that they were going to do was going to be a continuation off of Resurrection, and at the time, I didn't really understand how bad the retconning for Resurrection was, so I'm thankful that they did not continue off of Resurrection, because that already completely ruined it, so I'm glad that they didn't add extra, they didn't just add to the shit pile. Yeah, Resurrection, very generic ending, not much to say. Number 10 is going to be the Halloween 6 producer's cut ending. This one is kind of confusing, does some kind of weird things, and definitely ties in more to the complex cult stuff throughout the entire producer's cut movie, but especially at the ending. And it ends with Dr. Wynn switching places with Michael Myers, and so now Loomis has to be the protector of Michael Myers, and so he feels this immense guilt from that at the ending of the movie. I don't know. It's kind of awkward. You also have Michael Myers just like stuck there at the ending of the movie, surrounded by these rocks where he just can't move or something. It's really weird. You have Paul Rudd in the whole cult costume trying to go along with all this, and I don't know. It's really weird, confusing. I'm not even gonna try to understand it because I don't like the whole cult plot in the first place, the whole Thorn plot and all that kind of stuff. So nothing more to be said there. Number 9 is going to be the Halloween 4 ending, and I really don't understand people's obsession over this ending. I've heard many people say that they liked this ending and they are disappointed that Halloween 5 didn't continue off of what this ending set up. What I do like what happens before it, before they go back to the house and they, the sort of resolution happens there. Well, not really a resolution because it obviously has a huge climax towards the end, but things start to resolve to get back to the house after defeating Michael Myers. So I do like what happens there. I do like the whole town of cops shooting down Michael Myers, and then we later discover they throw a stick of dynamite in there. I do like that part. But I've never understood, the part that people talk about a lot more. The part I've never understood is what's people's obsession with this Jamie Lloyd basically turning into Michael Myers. I don't think that is a good idea. I've always kind of liked the plot of Michael Myers chasing after this little girl. I think that is an interesting, creepy plot to replace instead of, having Laurie, because they had to take her out, of course. So, I don't know, not really a fan of the direction that they were going with, where she kills her stepmother, and then she's got the scissors in the hand with the clown costume, and Dr. Loomis is screaming at the ending of the movie. I don't know. I don't think the direction they would have gone in, I would be a fan of. Maybe other people would have liked it better. I'm sure it would have been better than what we got in the mess of a film with Halloween 5, but I don't know. I just don't think that the direction they were going was all that intriguing, so I'm not a huge fan of this ending. Number 8 is going to be the Halloween 6 theatrical cut. I think this is a much simpler, better ending than the producer's cut for Halloween 6. Doesn't really get into the whole doesn't go very deep into the Thorn plot and everything like that, which is why I've always liked the theatrical cut better. It's got more blood, doesn't focus on the Thorn plot as much, and the ending, I think, most of all, pays its respects and focuses on paying its respects to Donald Pleasence passing, so I appreciate it for that. And, I don't know, the ending is sort of vague. You're not really sure what happened. You're kind of left, well, was Michael Myers defeated? Not really 100% sure. Presumably yes. Paul Rudd takes him down with injecting the shots into him and then hitting him with the pipe like 500 times and all that kind of stuff. And then we kind of just cut away to them leaving, and Donald Pleasence, or Loomis in this case, saying that, no, just leave me here, I'm fine, my job's over, or whatever, something like that. But I'm glad that they focused on paying their respects to Donald Pleasence and didn't make it very complex like the producer's cut, so that's why I put it here. Number 7 is going to be the Halloween Rob Zombie 2007 remake ending. I know that was very extravagant there. I don't think I needed to add in that much detail, but what I do like about this ending is that it has you thinking that it's gonna stop with the balcony scene, but then it continues with them going into sort of this ditch and Michael Myers begging, or Dr. Loomis begging Michael Myers to stop while he's, grabbing Laurie and all this kind of stuff, and he eventually shoots him down. Laurie stabs him to try to make sure that he's dead, and then starts screaming, and that's the ending of the movie. I don't know. It's the main thing that brings it up is the fact that they have you thinking that it's gonna end at that balcony scene, but they continue from that. So I think that is a good twist that Rob Zombie added onto there. But it doesn't really go much further than that. The ending, I don't know, I don't feel like it's as dramatic or climactic. It's only climactic in the sense that you thought that it was going to end at that particular scene because this is a remake and it's supposed to go off of what the original Halloween did. But he didn't do that, and so I will give him bonus points for that, for going in a different direction, and including just a few more moments of the three main characters duking it out. So number 7 is the Halloween Rob Zombie remake. Number 6 is Halloween Ends. For some people, this might be controversial, but I think that overall this ending was sufficient, and overall is what made me be satisfied with Halloween Ends, unlike some other people. I told you, I told you weeks, like a week or so before Halloween Ends was released. I was like, they better be decisive. They better end Halloween, and they did just that in a pretty cool fashion. The only thing that I didn't like about the ending was how the whole town is like doing this parade before they take him to the junkyard. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like all these people that were involved with the events of Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills are coming here to do this. You even have that kid who was like being babysat by that one girl who was, they advertised that scene in the trailers quite a lot. I don't know. Not a huge fan of the whole parading thing, but I do like how they throw him into the meat grinder and they say, yeah, he's dead. There's no way he's coming back from this. And so overall, it's definitely what made me satisfied with this movie. What made this sufficient for me in terms of what I wanted from this movie, and throwing him in the meat grinder to confirm that he is definitely 100% dead works for me. And they have you thinking that Laurie is going to commit suicide and go in the meat grinder as well to ensure that he stops this killing, because presumably he's going after Laurie for whatever reason that may be. And it even ends on a good note after that. You have they hint at Laurie and Hawkins possibly getting together now, where she says, "Could you tell me more about those cherry possums?" Just a very, very wholesome moment there. And then you also have, at the ending, instead of hearing Michael Myers breathing, you just see the empty home with nothing, just silence. And then it ends on a good note with some good music like it started off with, and I really, really like that. So Halloween Ends ending goes at number 6. Number 5 is going to be the Halloween 3 ending, which for me is a very iconic ending in the franchise. You have our main character, Dan, who finds out that this girl that he's been hanging out with for most of this movie and cheating on, quite frankly, well, cheating on his wife for hanging out with this younger girl, is just this animatronic. So he kills her, but it's not over yet. He's still got to stop the commercials from happening and preventing all these kids from dying. So he goes, he tries to tell these channel companies that, hey, you need to stop this commercial from being put onto all of the channels. You need to stop them all. But then all the commercials start to they stop for a few seconds, and then they pop up again, and he's saying, "Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!" And it's just such a great ending. Obviously not good, just thinking all those kids that are going to die from the commercial. So, it's just such an iconic ending, though. Very dramatic, and I freaking love it. So, Halloween 3 ending goes at number 5. Number 4, and this one, as good as it is, has really, really been outdone by some of these sequels in the future. At number 4 is going to be the original John Carpenter's Halloween ending. I know. Some people might have put it at number 1, or maybe 2, and had one other at the top. But for me, it's been really, really outdone. And it's a great ending. Don't get me wrong. It's a very, very great ending. And it shows that this movie was never really intended to go any further, with how simple the plot was and the ending just kind of being a cliffhanger. But it's not really supposed to go any further than that. It's like reading a short story that is very simple and has a cliffhanger, but you're really left to decide what happens after that. So that's what I really like about this ending. And also just the few little subtle things here and there. With her asking, was that the boogeyman, and Dr. Loomis's reply, and of course we get the face reveal of Myers showing his innocent, young-looking face, and then him falling off the balcony, and Loomis simply looking out, and he's gone. You think this man is a human, and you're left questioning, is this guy even really human? Or does he have some type of supernatural edge that we're not really sure about? What happened here? What is going on? So it's just a really simple but effective ending. But I think it has truly been outdone, but still one of the best for sure. Number 3 is going to be the Halloween 2018 ranking, and right now I'm kind of contemplating whether or not I should have put this one above or below the original John Carpenter's ending, but I'll stick it here at number 3. It's definitely a really great ending. I think could have worked well for really any of the 3 movies in this trilogy, but preferably either Halloween Kills or Halloween Ends. But it is just a really, really great ending. You know, you get the one-on-one with Laurie and Michael, and Laurie's almost kind of switching places with Michael for this whole scene where he's looking for her in the house, and then eventually her daughter and her granddaughter come to back her up, and they all help her with, you know, setting up this trap and getting him into the basement, where we learn that this whole house was really just a trap all along, and just set up so that this very thing could happen. And so you just see Michael Myers look up hopelessly in the basement as the fire starts to go, the gates close in on him, and it's really, really great. I think this would have worked really, really well as a conclusion to the trilogy, or to Halloween Kills. It's definitely a really, really great idea for an ending. The only thing that I have to pick on for this is I think it's a little bit goofy at times with some of the things they say to Michael while they trap him. She's like, "Gotcha!" Shoots him with a shotgun, and then he gets shot, falls down the stairs. I don't know, that seems a little bit goofy with me. Maybe that's just because I wasn't used to these new characters yet, Karen and girl who plays Andi Matichak, Allison. So maybe it was just because of that, but overall, I think it is a really, really great idea for an ending. I certainly could have never thought of something this clever, with her setting up this trap in this house, just waiting for him, because she knew he would return one of these days. I think it's just a really, really clever idea for a 40-year timeline jump for an ending. Number 2 is going to be the original 1981 Halloween 2 ending. And really the only problem with this ending is that there are a few production issues with this, of course. Many people have pointed out over the years there have been a lot of production issues with Halloween 2. You can see, like, how they set up the walls. You can see that there's, like, things holding up the presumably, I don't know, just fake walls, basically. And then you can see that Michael he steps in front of this, like, this chair, or this, like, this hospital chair, and then it cuts to him being behind it now. So there were a few production mistakes, but overall, the best word I can use to describe this ending is badass. You obviously have Loomis and Laurie stuck in this room where you think it's all over, but then Loomis starts to come up with an idea. He starts turning on the oxygen in the room, and Laurie gets in on this. She kind of knows where he's going in the direction of this. You got Michael Myers with the blood tears. He's blind, and you're thinking, I don't know, they might be out of luck at this point, and he's swinging around trying to find where they are. And then Loomis tells Laurie to get out of here, and then he says something along the lines of, "It's time, Michael." Lifts up the lighter, and boom, explosion happens. Laurie comes blasting back behind the chair into cover, and Michael Myers is walking on fire and then drops. And then it ends with Mr. Sandman. Such a great ending. It is just absolutely badass. I love this ending, and I think would have been a great conclusion to this these first 2 Halloween movies. So Halloween 2 goes at the number 2 spot. At number 1, and I'm sure you probably could have guessed it with how much good I was talking about with this ending, is the Halloween H2O ending. It is just too good. It is what makes me love the H2O timeline so much. If you forget about the stupid-ass retcon in Resurrection, and you just forget about that, and you say, no, H2O was the ending to Michael Myers' legacy, or whatever you want to call it, whatever. That was the end of Michael Myers. He was killed right there. Laurie got her revenge and finished it off. It is just so awesome, so badass. Um, you know, it starts to kind of resolve with everybody kind of getting care from the ambulance, people just kind of talking to each other and all that kind of stuff. But Laurie's like, no, 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 this is not over yet. So she jacks the keys to the van, takes Michael Myers out to make sure that he will die, grabs her axe with her, and he starts coming out of the body bag, and she's like, yep, yep, I kind of was expecting that to happen. So she pumps the brakes, he goes flying out the window, runs him over, he goes flying down the hill, the van crashes, and she's got him propped up on this branch. And Myers is just begging. I know some people find it a little bit goofy. I have not really, how do you want to say it? I haven't had as many issues with it over the years as when I first saw it. But he starts kind of begging like, hey, don't do this. Please don't do this. And just when you think that she might have sympathy to just kind of leave him there and then just go away, she picks up the axe, swings it, swings it, cuts off his head, and then the original Carpenter music starts playing as his head rolls, and we can see the decapitated head on the ground. And then takes a wide angle out shot, and we see her on the hill with the van crash and everything like that, and that's how the movie ends. That is the perfect ending to this Halloween 1 to H2O trilogy, and for me is the best ending the best ending in the Halloween franchise. So be sure to share your ranking in the comments section down below. You don't have to include as many endings as I did. Maybe just give your top 3 in the comments section down below. Remember, I still got a couple more rankings for this, my scores ranking, and then my top 10 kills ranking. I believe those are the other 2 that I have to do, so stay tuned for those. I'm going to try to get them out before Halloween, and then after that, going into November, I got some Diary of a Wimpy Kid content that I'm sure you're not going to want to miss coming in November to kind of end the fall season, so to speak. So, other than that, like and subscribe, guys, and I will see you next time.